That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Let's go!
What's up, guys? Welcome to Superwise. I'm John and I have seen it. I have finally seen James Gunn's Superman. For context, Superman is my favorite superhero of all time, my favorite fictional character of all time. I grew up and adored the Christopher Reeve movies. I idolized the man, that man is my hero, and as a kid, nothing was better than believing that man could fly. So here we are for Superman. I've been a believer since day one. The teaser trailer was incredible, the official trailer, all the promotional material has been just blowing me away. So what I think of the movie, I'm not gonna bury the lead here, I absolutely adore this film. I adore it that much that I've already decided it is my second favorite comic book movie of all time. Spider-Man 2 is still first place. But the fact that this film is already like right next to it because it shares the same energy and feel and soul, it's a beautiful thing. As a lifelong Superman fan, this is the perfect Superman movie. It's the best Superman movie of all time because it just fundamentally gets these characters in a way that they really haven't been before, and it's the most comic booky film a comic book film has ever been outside of like Spider-Verse. My jaw was just on the floor and I was smiling ear to ear for the entire runtime because it's a comic book from page to screen. It's just astounding. It's beautiful. This is the Superman movie I've waited my entire life for because it just inherently, unapologetically embraces the fantastical sci-fi aspects. The fortress has a laboratory. There's kaijus, there's magic, there's science. It's just the perfect blend of everything. I knew in my heart that James Gunn would deliver because there is no one out there like him. He's just on another level simply as a storyteller. Now, is the movie perfect? No. I got a couple of nitpicks with it. I'm just gonna get my biggest negative or critique out of the way. So people have said that the pacing's off and the film is like really bloated. These things weren't necessarily an issue for me. Would I have absolutely taken 10 to 15 more minutes to settle on certain things and explore them a little more? For sure. Because there is a lot going on. There are a lot of other superheroes in this movie. You don't really get to spend a lot of time with Hawkgirl. You don't really get to know her. Mr. Terrific, who we'll get to, is really fun, but you don't really learn much about his backstory, so there's a little bit to be desired on that front where you just want a little more out of it. Another example is that I would have liked a little more Clark Kent. We have like one scene with him as that persona, and I would have liked to see a little more Daily Planet interaction. That's just like classic Superman to me. But the film works as is. Like, it's super fast paced, but they explore the moments and get you invested the way you need to. I teared up couple of times. Like, the film is just a success, but that's my critique. So let's glaze from now on. We've already talked about James Gunn and how perfect he was to handle this character. He took the nonsensical Superman is boring takes and just addressed them and is gonna make people change their minds. A lot of normies that don't read the material know Superman as a god, as a symbol, as infallible. He's always got it together. But James Gunn makes this character three-dimensional. He has emotions, he has feelings. He's relatable, and it's great for the public to finally see him in this type of light. I also love and think it's incredibly crucial for Superman to be shown to be caring and loving. He thinks everyone's beautiful, he thinks every life is sacred, every life, even like a squirrel. He's checking up on civilians before going back into battle. He's trying to give Engineer a chance to change. James Gunn just did a phenomenal job putting that side of Superman on display. That is simply Superman. With James Gunn, of course, you get that trademark humor, and it totally worked. I mean, the crowd was cracking up. James really is in a special league where you have this incredibly serious, dire moment, and you have a joke followed shortly after it, but it doesn't like ruin the mood. It blends pretty seamlessly. Moving on to the action, it is so incredibly inventive and creative. We haven't seen comic book action quite like this before. Everything in the pocket dimension, like the Proton River, was so insanely creative and just blew me away. That entire third act is wonderful. And I'm sitting in the theater realizing that this movie really could hit $1 billion because it just has that kind of pull. The score by John Murphy and David Fleming is absolutely amazing. I really like what John did. I always appreciate and love his electric guitar feel. Like when it's playing for Guy Gardner in the third act, I was like, this is just punk rock peak. As I'm listening to the tracks online though, I think David Fleming does a lot of the heavy lifting, and I was just blown away by his work. The John Williams theme is just so perfectly integrated into integral moments in the film. It's my favorite film score of all time, and when you hear it, it just gets your blood pumping and you can't help but smile. It's perfectly placed. Onto the characters and the performances. David Corenswet is Superman. He is as definitive and generational as Christopher Reeve. He is the character, and the script demands so much from him for this first film, and he just knocked it out of the park every time. The range this man has is incredible. This man is going to be a star, and I couldn't be happier for him. Nicholas Hoult is the definitive Lex Luthor, the best Lex Luthor. I don't think anyone's going to top him. He just set the bar so high. He's straight up on the level of Heath Ledger's Joker and Colin Farrell's Penguin. He is phenomenal. This is the Lex I've always wanted. The ruthless, vile, evil, manipulative, jealous, envious, wickedly smart Lex Luthor. He is everything Lex is in the comics. The emotion, the range, the versatility. I cannot stress enough how generational this performance is. My jaw was literally on the floor multiple times seeing how he was portrayed, throwing pencils at Eve, killing that civilian for just helping out Superman. Lines like, "They chose him, let them die," and that whole rant and monologue by the end where he's going off on other philosophers, and you just see how egotistical he is. It's literally just mind-blowing how perfect this is. And what makes this all better is that because he's so intense, when you get your moments of levity with this character, it's like genuinely funny. Like the donut bit, or that incredible Russian roulette scene where he kills that civilian and the gun goes off on the second time and he just sort of like smirks and he's like, I didn't think it would go off that soon. Like, he just chews the scenery. It's a beautiful, incredible performance. I cannot praise it enough. Rachel Brosnahan is the perfect definitive Lois Lane. One of the best scenes in the movie is when Lois is interviewing Clark, and she is relentless. She is a journalist seeking the truth. She's asking the hard-hitting questions. She doesn't care who you are. She's going to do her job. She's fantastic, and her chemistry with David is phenomenal. Skylar Gisondo is the perfect definitive Jimmy Olsen. He is an absolute fan favorite, and the subplot with him and Eve Tessmacher is gold. Wendell Pierce as Perry White is perfect casting. He's great in the movie for what little time we have with him. The engineer and her power set was really cool to see on screen. She doesn't get a lot to do, but for what we had, I really liked her. Like I said, Hawk Girl, she's very fine, very serviceable in the film. Mr. Terrific, of course, gets that one sequence where he gets to show off. He absolutely is a standout character. His dynamic with Superman is really fun. Love Eddie Gathegi in this role, can't wait to see him down the line. People were hard on Nathan Fillion's casting as Guy Gardner, and I absolutely love him in this film. He perfectly fits the bill. Metamorpho gets a little bit to do with his son Joey. One of my favorite comedic moments in the movie is when Guy Gardner's reluctant to let him into the Justice Gang, and Metamorpho's like, that's a cool name. And Guy's like, you're in. Like, that was just a great moment. His powers were really cool to see on screen. I love how he can morph into kryptonite, and what that does to Superman. We've never seen Superman affected by kryptonite quite like that. It's literally like an allergy. He's visibly swollen and bruised. Like, it looks very, very painful. So that was a cool spin. Ma and Pa Kent were great. I love that moment where Ma's like speaking into the phone. She's like getting used to new technology. That was a fun moment. We first see Pa Kent as very serious and very stoic, but the minute that his son is in danger, he is just crushed and broken down, and that emotion was just beautiful to see. Lastly, we can talk about the cameos. The entire crowd went wild for Peacemaker. I had no idea that he was gonna cameo. It didn't occur to me that that would happen, but it's so in character for him to be on the news. It was just such a fun, welcome cameo. Then of course you have Supergirl Millie Alcock for like the 10 seconds she was in the movie. She was perfect, and the dynamic between big cousin, little cousin just works. It was just perfect. And that suit that's been hidden for all this time is crisp. I love it. So that's my review. It's my second favorite comic book movie of all time. It's the best Superman movie ever made. I absolutely adore it. James Gunn knocked it out of the park in every aspect. He loves this character, he loves the material, and he just poured that all on screen. You can see the appreciation for the history with the opening credits and the end credits serving as an homage to the Richard Donner opening credits. Absolutely love that. I just love everything about this movie. It's so unapologetically comic booky, but what's most important is that it's fun, that it's heartfelt, that it's earnest, that it's pure. We don't have enough of that. The world needs this movie, and if this is the future of DC, it has never looked brighter. That's my review. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you think about James Gunn's Superman? Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That'll be all for me. Remember my catchphrase, guys. Stay super wise.